All right, Wednesday, July 14th. Justin, we're trying something new here.
We are.
Is it going to fail?
No.
Hey, you paused there a little bit.
No.
All right, well, we'll run down, similar to what you do on the wrap-up show, but we'll run down today's show. A lot of funny moments that transpired today. Any highlights out of you?
I like talking about, my job with Kirk.
Yes.
I think that's probably the biggest segment of the show that people are going to take away from it.
This guy's cleaned my bathroom.
So that's where I figured we could lead off. And we're having a big theme around the show is now trust and loyalty, which is you have all the loyalty in the world. Apparently, I do not.
You think you're more loyal to me than Justin?
You have all the trust in the world out of Kirk Minihane. Apparently, I do not.
I don't trust you.
What's your takeaway? You texted me yesterday. That is behind the scenes right there. You texted me yesterday. You were emailing with Erica Nardini. What's the feeling like from your perspective right now?
Well, it was strange because I was expecting a call and then I got a text message that says, "Hey, it's Erica." And I didn't know what to respond with. So I just said, "Hello."
Hello.
And in the back of your mind, you know that Kirk and Erica are also talking.
Yes.
So the question is like, how chatty do you want to be in that moment, right?
Yes. I don't want to be like, "Hey, Erica, it's Justin,
Yes.
Glad to introduce myself. Hope to work with you again in the future." It's just like, I was like,
Thank you.
Well, it's got to feel good, though, because Kirk, even in that moment, even through some of the shit talk with me and Steve or whatever, you have Kirk's trust. You're obviously loyal to him. We know what you do around here. You bust your ass. You may not feel good about the financial situation.
As long as he's willing to work for $6,000, which I've said in the past. I said to Mike, it's a hell of a handsome salary. And,
But in terms of your role within the show, you have to be very optimistic where you stand.
yes. I mean, I believe it was today that Kirk said, as long as he's at Barstool, I will have a job with the Kirk Minihane show.
That is the highest honor you can get out of Kirk Minihane right there. So I think, when do you think we'll start having some more news out of that? You're just playing, you're in a holding pattern until you hear from Erica?
Yeah, I'm going to say, I'm not going to reach out. I'm sure she's busy and she has everything. I'm going to say, I don't see anything happening by Friday, but
yeah.
We'll see what happens over the weekend.
You're not exactly a master negotiator.
I'm a terrible negotiator.
But I
offers you $38,000 and benefits to be a full-time Barstool employee. You would say, thank you, no.
I don't put me between a rock and a hard place here.
Well, welcome to the show, Justin.
I think you're dealing with two people that are very fair, right? Financially.
Of course, yes.
So I think either way, when you hear back from Erica, it's, you're going to have a collaborative conversation. You're going to be talking about dollar amounts that make sense in the moment. And like I said on the show, what are some opportunities that we can bring to the table to make you more money?
Here's how we can make more money. I don't know about make more money for the show. We can work here and then get a part-time job at the fucking car wash.
And we've talked about that in the past. So, all right, other things that came up on the show. We wanted to mock Greg Hill, not necessarily because there's any ill will toward Greg Hill personally or anything like that, but he filmed himself handing out checks to different restaurants around the city of Boston. And we got a call last week from a listener who tipped us off about this. We thought it was a low dollar amount, but it turned out he was donating $5,000.
That's a $5,000 check.
So Kirk asked the question today, what can you get for $5,000? So we called up a commercial oven, I guess you could say like a commercial restaurant expert, I guess you could say. They sell them. And I guess you can get a lot of bang for your buck for $5,000 in that industry.
We've got some by then that are, going to be right there like the $3,400 mark.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was, and also, I mean, Greg Hills sucks. Just as his radio show is absolutely terrible, but
I would consider fill-in work.
$5,000 can mean a lot to a small business, whether it be like just payroll or just getting new things. So I'm not going to shit on the guy.
No, there's nothing
trying to do something.
Yeah, there's nothing you can bash there. And it was funny from a show perspective. That was my first time in the moment, just seeing Kirk say, "Oh, call him." Just call the company that you're looking up on the web right now to see how much it costs. So that was a funny, just interesting experience. You know how I deal with the phone lines.
So you had the wrong number.
No, I don't have the wrong number. It's just I can't tweet it out until I have the right number. That's never a comfortable spot for me. All right, so one of the things we were trying to decide too today was whether or not we would air the Gilbert Gottfried interview, which, by the way, did you give that away or did I give that away?
Kirk gave that away.
Kirk gave that away?
God damn it!
Yeah, on Monday he said, "Do you think fucking Gilbert Gottfried is going to go on Part of My Take?"
Right.
Do you think this person who I love is going to be on fucking Part of My Take?
Nope, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I didn't know. I knew that Kirk wanted to interview him, but I didn't know it was like a big guest. But then when I found that audio this morning of Mike saying, "Get it with Kelly Martin,"
that's I will say that's probably how you would get like Gilbert or someone like that.
That was what, so I guess it was Brandy Love and Gilbert Gottfried that he wanted. I thought we'd play that today. That didn't change the preparation of the show per se. It was just kind of a light story day. You got Stephen A. Smith. But it is kind of funny in the moment where, Kirk's asking, what's next? And we fired through 15 of the topics, whether it was Inside World or a news story, pretty quick. So that was a good learning lesson for me, that you got to just always, even if my list is 15, it should be 30.
You're pathetic.
You never know with Kirk and Mike. Like, if you bring up a topic about something, it could go off on a tangent about something completely different. So it's just like, the more news stories, the better.
The more, the better.
You work for me.
All right, the other thing we brought up was Jared Carrabis, which we don't know. You had a text message going with him last night, though, right? So you're unsure if he's coming in on Friday.
Yeah, I texted him on Monday. He said he was going to talk with Dallas when he gets off the plane, because he's in, I think he might be coming back today, but he was in Colorado for the All-Star game. So I think things might be a little up in the air what his schedule is.
Busy for Carrabis. I've never met Carrabis, so I'm looking forward to catching up with him. Hopefully he'll be in soon, because I do, like you, I'm a fan of his. I think he does a lot. He's a monster on social media. Literally a million baseball clips every day. I don't know how. I've seen his setup, obviously, but I don't know how he keeps going that way.
Thank you.
But he's a monster.
That was nice.
The pictures yesterday showing of him that we're here on that showing him on the field. We had a little time mocking it. Obviously, Kirk said he looks all roided up.
No.
I do not think Jared Carrabis does steroids. Do you think Jared Carrabis does steroids?
I think if he does steroids, then he needs to take like a good 3 months off of work.
What are you talking about?
Because he's got some serious issues going on.
No, my question to him is if he's not on steroids, which I don't believe he is, that means he's eating like a shitload. Like he was saying on one of the episodes I was listening back to recently, was he's not a steak salad guy. He's a steak and salad guy.
I'll do a steak and a salad, not a steak salad.
He must eat a shit ton of fucking steak to be that big, working out the way he does.
Yeah, I mean, he's a big boy. You see the pictures of him. His arms are huge.
He's a monster, but the cutoff look. Now, him and Dallas kind of matched looks.
Yep.
So I know Kirk was giving him a hard time about that today, but they matched looks. He went sleeveless. Dallas Braden didn't, but I think he took a pretty good beating. I don't think we have to do it here. I think he took a pretty good beating online.
Yeah, I mean, yesterday he was posting, he's like, I will not be bullied into doing leg day.
Yeah.
So it just sounds like he's just not on a leg day. And Kirk mentioned on the show today that there are a couple pictures of Jared on his tippy toes taking pictures, and that's kind of funny.
I saw a bunch of pictures he took on his tippy toes too, though. People were sending me that.
I did see. I should have. I mean, I don't think it was worth it, but he must have some war with some baseball reporter or something, because I saw him tweet that his necklace was worth more than his entire family's net worth or something like that.
Oh, Jesus! I hope that's
full
a joke.
WWE mode. But
I hope that's a joke, because that's the worst.
Jealousy.
When people are like, my shoes are worth more than your car.
He doesn't strike me as somebody who's arrogant like that. I think he's just a shit talker.
He's probably just shit talking.
Yeah, he's just shit talking.
But so I texted him, and I texted him this morning actually and said, any news on Friday, and he hasn't got back to me yet. So I think, to kind of bring it back to the last thing we were talking about with Gilbert Gottfried, I think if we don't have Carrabis in on Friday, and we're kind of, me and you are trying to, wring something out of this, we at least have the Gottfried interview, which I think was very funny.
Yeah, it was super funny, and I gave him a little shit thinking he'd go a little bit longer if that's somebody you've wanted to talk to, but he explained himself on the show quite well. Have a good time, tee him up, don't go too long, and then hopefully he'll want to come back, because he's insanely funny. So callers, you and I have talked off air about this, and Kirk brought it up on the show today, which callers have been pretty lackluster the last couple weeks. Some of the characters have been missing, but today, the return of an all-timer, someone I like to have a little bit of fun with on Twitter on the timeline there, is our friend Jon Stewart made a comeback on the show.
I think Tim stole my thunder.
Wow. Wait a minute. Is it Tim again? That would be incredible.
How's everybody doing?
John, where you been?
And I must say, that first Tim and Canton impression.
All aboard.
Wow.
Oh, there he is.
It's been a while. John, where have you been?
I hate to disappoint you. I'm just trying to.
Fuck. That was incredible.
Top notch.
It was, when I heard that, I was like, Jesus Christ.
I'm going to say 10 out of 10.
Yes, I will. I would 100% agree that was.
And that's not me kissing his ass either. I literally thought that was Jon Stewart. Now the second one, I'm going to give him, I think even being fair, that's probably a 7 out of 10.
I was going to say 7.5.
Yeah,
or something like that.
That's fair.
Want me to do it again?
Yeah.
All aboard.
That's pretty good.
The first one was better.
Pretty better
Yeah.
that time.
But Jon made his comeback. What's your takeaway from Jon showing back up? I didn't know. I mean, Jesus, he could talk to Jon for 30 minutes, for God's sake. That went on for 5 minutes.
There could be a Kirk and Jon show where they just go back and forth and talk about movies from the 90s. And
Should we pitch him?
That.
I mean, no.
Should we pitch Kirk?
Yeah,
that?
no. I mean, I think that might. I don't know, because he might take time away from the case, or Kirk Minihane show once the Jon Stewart and Kirk Minihane show goes through the roof.
That's true. I can't speak about the case. That's something only you can touch on right now. So that's fine. All right. So speaking of you, on the wrap-up show, this is something that Kirk texted me a couple days ago, was you mentioned the differences between working with Big Steve Robinson, and Dave Cullinane.
There was more of a work relationship between Steve and I. There was definitely more of like, he's the boss, I'm the underling. Dave's definitely my boss, and I still consider him that way. But the way just Dave talks is more, he talks to you as if you're an equal.
And I think Kirk took it a little bit further than he needed to on the show today.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think I was bashing Steve at all. I mean,
Justin's fucking burying him on this thing.
Dave, will you agree that you and Steve kind of have a very different approach?
100%.
And that's what I was trying to get through. I mean, I wasn't trying to say like, oh, I never said like, oh, I wanted Steve to be more like of a friend. I mean, he was a great boss. I mean, Steve's the best. I just do think there's a big difference between the way you handle things and the way Steve handles things, just with social media and things like that. So I guess I could see how someone kind of took it as me bashing Steve, but no, I have nothing but admiration. And
yeah, I think everybody kind of, I don't know, I'm not even going to say manage it. I don't even like that shit. I don't like titles, and I'm not trying to be some hardo with that stuff. I just think when you're on the same team, you're working toward the same goal. Yeah. And that's not, everybody has different styles, so it's not even, it's a different way. I think Steve came in this was an entrepreneurial project for him. Everything was on him and Kirk at that time. He built it from the ground up. I can see somebody using that type of style long term, and it worked for him at the end of the day, right? The podcast is insanely successful. You were a great employee, colleague to him, so it still works. It's just my style's a little bit different, and we'll see, where that goes between the two of us. But right now, it does seem to be working.
Yeah, no, that's my thing. Like I was saying, like you said, you don't like titles or things like that. I think Steve was more of like Justin does work for me, which is, well, like I said, completely fine, and it's 100% true that, I work for Steve, but I wasn't trying to give the impression that I was like, bashing Steve on his way out the door.
Yeah, I didn't get that vibe. Everybody out there has different styles, and at the end of the day, if you're working toward the same goal, which is to make the show the best it can possibly be, doesn't really matter, because everyone's head is in the right place, and there's not a lot of ego associated with that.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to point out that, because someone in the comments asked a question, what's the biggest difference between Dave and Steve? And I just think it's the way you just talk and the way you handle things.
He's a good-looking guy.
Which isn't like I said, it's not a bad thing about you. It's not a bad thing about Steve. It's just you guys have a different approach to it.
Yeah, just a different approach. So, all right, well, that was July 14th. That's the episode today. This is a little pilot show. Why do I keep saying pilot when we try new things? It sounds like I'm trying to pitch a show to like NBC or something like that, but
please pick us up.
Please pick us up. Yeah, the Kirk Minihane Network, please pick us up, which I think we have, at least today. Kirk again reiterates that we seem to have complete control of the Kirk Minihane Network.
Yes.
All right, we're out of here.